Some Maryland voters have already voted. Early voting began earlier today in the state of Maryland. It was busy at one Northwest Baltimore polling place. Neither Anthony Brown nor Larry Hogan cast their ballots earlier today, but their political advertisements are still airing, and some voters aren't surprised in this nasty campaign with just days before Election Day.
I expect politics. Yeah, you got to do it.
That's not a good thing, is it?
It isn't a good thing, but you need the facts. You need to check out your facts.
Early voting continues for the next 7 days, with the polls open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And we're giving you the opportunity to get to know the candidates for governor right here on Fox 45 News Late Edition. We have invited both candidates to join us to talk about the issues. We hope to have Democrat Anthony Brown here in our studio in the coming days. But tonight we are joined by Republican Larry Hogan. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We're getting so many questions and comments from our viewers and social media tonight, so we're going to get right to them. Our first one comes from Debbie, and she says, what are the candidates? What are you going to do about promoting businesses to come to the Eastern Shore? We need work and good paying work. So what about the Eastern Shore?
You know, it's really true. I've had 34 trips to the Eastern Shore. I was there all day yesterday with stops in Salisbury, Cambridge, and Easton. You know, we've lost businesses throughout the entire state, but we've really lost more on the Eastern Shore than anywhere else. 11% of all the businesses have left the state. Unemployment on the Eastern Shore, we've doubled unemployment in the state, but it's even 50% higher on the shore. And 7 of the counties over there are some of the worst ones. They're higher unemployment than in the rest of the state and the rest of the country. And we've really got to focus on we've lost 26% of our manufacturing base. We've got to find a way to attract more businesses to Maryland and bring some businesses to the shore, particularly because people are really hurting for jobs.
All right, a question on education now comes from Linda, and this hits home for a lot of parents of public school children. The question is, do you believe that Common Core is good for Maryland families?
You know, Common Core seems to be really off on the wrong foot. Everywhere I go across the state, people are really concerned about this. It reminds me of the rollout of the health care, and the rollout of this Common Core has been somewhat of a disaster. We've got complaints from parents, students, and teachers. Even the teachers union calls this a train wreck, and we've had the lowest test scores on record this year because they're just not prepared to roll. I mean, I'm all for standards, but we're not prepared to roll this out. We've got to hit the pause button because we can't just jeopardize our kids' education experimenting with something that we're not ready to roll out.
So would you stop it? Would you halt it?
Yeah, we'll push the pause button and then take a look and see if we can make sure we get it done right.
All right, a lot of talk in this campaign about gun control and the recent endorsement by the NRA. And there have been insinuations that you might be saying one thing publicly and some other things behind closed doors. And our question comes from Thomas. How do you expect to decrease crime in our state? Is making it easier to obtain a concealed carry permit an option?
Well, you know, one thing, first of all, we're not going to do anything to roll back any of the gun laws that have already been passed. And it's been kind of a political football in this race. We're seeing some negative commercials. But I want to work with the Democrats and work across the aisle to try to come up with some tougher laws to make it, to do more to keep guns out of the hands of criminals and the mentally ill. I think that's something that the recent gun legislation didn't do, and that's where we're going to focus.
Would you do anything to make it easier for someone who's not mentally ill to get a gun in Maryland?
No, we wouldn't.
So not by executive order or any other means?
No,
to
we're not going to do anything
around.
to change the current gun laws.
All right. Larry Hogan, Republican candidate for governor, we appreciate you coming in, answering our questions, and more importantly, the questions from our viewers tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Great to have you.
Thank you.
And we hope to have Anthony Brown with us here very soon. You can learn more about Larry Hogan and Democrat Anthony Brown on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Click on the Know Your Candidate section to see the second governor's debate, and you can get more information on the issues and early voting polling.